parts, any unusual fluid leaks, and I see none. I'm gonna come up, get the keys out of the cubby, open the door. My seals are in good condition. I'm gonna enter the bus. My handrail's secure. I've got a stop sign that says stop on both sides. Might as well do that while I'm here. Come back in, key in the ignition. I'm going to check my paperwork. I have a CHP inspection approval certificate, a CHP 292. It's good for 13 months. This was inspected 11, 16, 17. It's good to 12, 16, 18, so it's current. It's rated for 84 passengers, no wheelchairs. I have a registration form that says it expires long after I'm dead in 2099 for this bus. So I'll accept that. I have an insurance card, and our name is on it. Right there. 7 from the bottom. I also have a PM sticker, which is good for 45 days or 3,000 miles, whichever occurs first. It says 2002 165 for mileage, and it's August 10th. And I am at 199,000. So those are both current. So all my paperwork is current. So now I'm going to get out and I'm going to start doing a walk around. I'm going to go this way. So as I look, I'm going to look for any body damage, any window damage, anything at all that's not right. Make sure all my lettering's good. So I have a reflector that's secured, my bus number. Front tire must be a new tire, no less than 4/32. Sidewalls free of abrasions, no bulges, no cracks, ABCs. Wheels in good condition, no welds, no cracks. All my lug nuts are present, no signs of rust. Wheel seals present, no signs of leakage. My valve stem cap is present. And I have a splash guard. I have a fuel cap that's present and secure. Got a fuel, let me get back. I'm going to check my compartments as I walk down the side of the bus. Since I'm here, I'm going to chalk these now. Okay. West Sonoma County Schools is legible. California IT is legible. Reflector secure. CNG tank shut off. Valve between the frame rails is secure. Door is secure. Rear tires can be new, can be recapped, no less than 2/32. I'm going to check both inside and outside. All my ABCs are good. Wheels good, no welds or cracks. Lug nuts are all present, no signs of rust. Wheel seals present, no signs of leakage. I have a valve stem cap and a valve stem cap. Mud flat. Emergency exits clearly marked. Directions legible. Latch in place. Emergency exit on the inside is legible, and the directions are legible. The little hold bar is holding. Battery compartment, check it just once a week. Check for corrosion and securement. Checking for body damage again, reflector. Come to the back. Nothing's lit up. School bus is legible. Emergency exit's legible. No directions. Exercise the door. Stop when red lights flash. Bus number 55. License plates secure. Inside, it's hot, so I'm not going to touch anything. I'm going to do a general condition of the engine check. My coolant level's up. Transmission fluid would go in there. This is my oil dipstick. Pull it out, wipe it off, stick it back in, pull it out. It was good this morning. My belts, serpentine belts in good condition. Oil would go in here if I needed it. Compressor, governor. All my sensors for my fire suppression system look in good condition. My covers for my emitters are in good condition. Power steering fluid. I have power steering fluid. General condition of the engine. Don't see excessive oil buildup. Don't see any bare copper. So all my wires are either in loom or have insulation. General condition of the engine's good. Okay. Close this up. Go down this side. I'm going to check my body, my windows for any damage. Looking good here. Another reflector, 2 reflectors in the back. We're there. Windows good. West Sonoma County Schools is legible. California ID. CNG tank shut-off valve between frame rails is good. Door is secure. Rear tire, same as the other side, can be recap, can be new. ABCs look excellent on this side. Wheels good, no welds or cracks. Lug nuts are all present, no signs of rust. Wheel seals present, no signs of leakage. Valve stem caps are present. Mud flaps present. Woohoo. Check this door. It's secure. Butts 55. Front tire, same as the other side, must be new, no less than 4/32. ABC's good. Wheels good, no welds or cracks. Lug nuts are all present. No signs of rust, wheel seals present, no signs of leakage, valve stem cap, and a partial mud flap, but it's there. Drain valves, relays, fuses. Check, make sure these are secure. I got a reflector. Same thing on the front. School bus sign is legible. Lenses are in good condition. Windshields free of chips and cracks. Windshield wipers are secure, soft and pliable. Bus number, already checked the mirror brackets on that side. Bumper secure, plate secure. Again, rear brackets on this side are good. So now I'm going to come back in. I can do my emergency equipment while I'm thinking about it. I have 3 reflectors. Be prepared to answer any questions he asks about placement. I'm going to check a different one every day. I'm going to put this one in the back. Put this one in the back. I've got a first aid kit, 84 passenger bus, requires a 24 unit kit. I'm going to check my seal, which is in good condition. I have an inventory list, extra band-aids, fuses, my trainee's bleeding, accident kit, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. They're all sealed and in good condition. So that's complete. Put it back where it belongs. The fun one, fire extinguisher. I'm thinking about getting another bracket. Pin is secured. Needles in the green, still, barely. No obstructions in the nozzle. This was inspected December 26th, 2017. It's good to December 26, 2018, so it's current. It has to be a minimum 8 BC. This is a 10 BC for the UL. Okay, you can shake it if you want, turn it upside down. If you check it every day, that should help keep the stuff from clumping in the bottom. Clear my dash again. So, I have a sanitary kit. That's my 5th piece. Body fluid spill kit. Make sure I have it. Okay, I'm going to check the driver's compartment. Seat secure. Steering wheel secure. Pedals aren't coming off. I'm going to put my seatbelt on. Make sure my seatbelt is secure. Okay, good. I have my inside mirror, my 4 required mirrors, interior, 2 flat, and a cross view. All my mirrors are clean, and properly adjusted. I've got a sunshade that's secure. My fire suppression system is secure. I'm going to go ahead and start this up. Don't have a glow plug, so I'm just going to start it with CNG. So I'm going to go right to my center gauge. I have a fuel gauge. It's reading full. I have a water temperature or coolant temperature gauge. It's not quite to half, so it's not as hot as it can be. I have a battery gauge or volt gauge, and it's right pretty close to the middle. It's where it usually sits. And an oil pressure gauge, and I'm registering oil pressure. I have a speedometer. It's registering 0. I have a tachometer. I'm around 700 RPM, maybe 650. Odometer. Stupid air gauge, but air gauge. My parking brake indicator is on. I've got a transmission temperature gauge here. I have an application gauge that speaks to the adjustment of the brakes, and they're working. My clock doesn't work. Okay, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to check my dome lights. My rear dome lights are lit. My front are all lit, and my driver's dome light is lit. Clearance lights, see the clearance light come on, and let's see, the door is still closed. I turn on my strobe indicator is working. I'm going to go ahead and start with I have my amber light indicator, but I'm going to do my red lights first. My red light indicator is working. I have my mirror defrost switch. I have my booster pump switch. This is just the dimmer switch for the panel. I have a fan, high, low, off. Another fan, high, low, off. All speeds work. I have an indicator to let me know that my fuel door is open. Down here I have a rear heater. It's high. Wait for the car to go by. It's low. This one's high, low. I have a little button I can press to mark my camera to let them know. It's my door switch. My step well light is working. Okay, I'm going to close that for now. Windshield wipers. I have low, high, and then I have fluid in those. I have my left turn signal indicators working. Air horn and electric horn are working. Come over here, I have my headlight switch. Turn my headlights on. High beam indicator working. Check my fast idle. Fast idle's running okay. My parking brake, my ignition. This is my switch to activate my gauges or to activate my air brake gauge when I want to do my air brake test. Come over here, this is my gear shift selector buttons for my transmission. My warning lights for transmission temp and stop. Red light comes on, stop. Sonar, radio, off. Come over here, I have my driver's heater, high, low, off. It's fan right at the moment. Defroster, high, medium, low, off. All my little vents here are secure. Everything's looking good for me to go outside. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Check, make sure there's nothing else that I don't want to check on here. Nope. Alright, safety equipment, done that, come on out. Now I'm going to check my lights on this walk around. My clearance lights, all 5 are lit. My amber light, or my red lights are working. My left turn signal, high beams, parking lights are all lit. So I go down, I check all my 3 clearance lights are working. My left turn signal, and my strobe light is flashing. Looking good. Stop arm. Stop arms extended, so stop on both sides. Clearance lights are all lit. Yep. Red lights are working. Left turn signal. Tail lights. Reflectors. All the lights are working back here. Come down this side. All my clearance lights are okay, strobe light off, indicator off. Red lights off, indicator off. Master switch, amber light indicator. High beams, high beam indicator off. Right turn signal, right turn signal indicator on. So I'm going to exit and check those lights. Come around to the front. Amber lights are working. Low beams, right turn signal. Ambers, right turn signal. Green lights set. Alright. Amber light indicator, amber lights off. Headlights off. Turn signal off. Hazard light switch pulled out. Hazard warning light indicators are on. Fast idle off. Brake pedal braced. Brake light switch on. I'm going to put it in reverse. I hear the backup beeper. Engine off. Key on. So now I'm going to check my last light systems. Okay.
What's that noise we're hearing?
That's your backup beeper. If
And
you don't hear
the
that,
popping sound.
Oh, that popping sound? That's the ABS doing a self-diagnostic when you turn the key on or start the engine both ways, and it'll do a self-diagnostic at each wheel.
Okay.
Hazard lights. off, so these are brake lights, hazard lights. Hazard lights. That can come off. Turn that. Start the engine again. Stow the stick. Turn the headlights back on. Alright, I'm going to do an interior check. I'm going to check my emergency exits. This here is an emergency exit. It's do-si-do here. It's closed. Okay. Emergency release is legible. Head cushions in place. And it functions. I'm going to check my modesty panels, where the seats are connected to the floor, and my seat cushions and seat back. Make sure everything is secure. I'm looking at the cleanliness of the floor, but not really, Steve, because I'm ashamed. Seat cushion folds down, folds up. Looking pretty good. Fuck. To the back. Emergency exits clearly marked. Instructions are legible. I hear a buzzer. I see a light. As I come back, I'm going to check my ceiling and my windows on the inside for any damage, missing rivets. I come over to this head cushion, already did the markings. Got a buzzer. Got a light. Come around, I have an emergency exit here, clearly marked, directions legible. I'm going to open it, push to exit. It functions. And it's latched. Lenses, rivets, ceiling, cameras. Hello. Cameras are good. Head cushions in place. I have a buzzer. I have a light. Checking each side again for damage. I checked the other windows yesterday, so I check a window on each side. Make sure it's functioning. These are alternative emergency exits. Okay. Floor, ceiling, cameras. Emergency exits clearly marked. Directions are legible. It's functioning. Line it up. My trainee struggled with this, nested up yesterday. It's all his fault. There it goes. Latched. Closed. These were alarmed at one time, not anymore. Only floor level doors need to be alarmed. So for now, that's good. Okay, that completes all of my passenger compartment, which leaves me with the brake test. First thing I have to do is bring up a digital air gauge. Engine off. There it is. So the first thing I'm going to do is my governor cut in pressure. Must cut in before 85 psi. I'm going to watch it and make sure that it has cut out already. Looks like it has. So I'm going to bring it down really slow. Usually cuts in at 97, so we'll see what happens. I'm watching my gauges to see if they cut in or not. Give it a few seconds. It's not moving. Bring it down again. nice and slow. Eight. $94, $95. Bring up the RPMs a little bit. Not building up, so I bring it down some more. $94, $92. Watch it, nothing. This is something we will have to fix. So it cut in, the lowest pressure was 89. That's above 85, so it passes this test. That's my governor cut in, 85 psi. Now I'm going to bring it to cut out. The maximum cutout pressure is 130 psi. So our fast idle's already on. So I'm going to start building the air pressure up to see where it cuts out. Usually cuts out about 120, but it'll stabilize less. So I get ready to shut the fast idle off. The bus is vibrating violently. It's not Kevin holding the phone. Watching the gauges, watching the digital gauges, seeing when it stops. I heard it cut out. I saw it cut out at 119. Okay, so now that was my 119 psi, has to cut out by 130, so it passes. I'm now going to do my static test. I'm going to shut the engine off, split the gauge, find my timepiece, and time out a minute. Yeah. Starting now. Can't lose more than 2 psi in 1 minute, and I am at something. There we go. Start again. Stop. Reset. Go. I'm at 117, 115. Can't lose more than 2 psi in this minute. Gonna check, make sure I did everything up to this point. All my gauges, all my switches, the seat belt, steering wheel. Doesn't have excessive play. Can't think of anything else. 17:15 hasn't lost any air yet, and we're at 25 seconds. 10 seconds. It's fighting. 59. Here's my minute. Reset, and I lost 1 pound on the front tank. I'm now going to release my parking brake, open that valve, let the air go out. I'm going to step on my service brake. Time a minute starting now. Can't lose more than 3 psi, and I'm at 101, 100.
And this is called
the applied test. Did my governor cut in and cut out, just did my static. I'm now doing the applied. Can't lose more than 3 psi in 1 minute.
so static. You touch nothing.
Yeah, it's static.
Applied,
Valves.
Push the brake.
Applied, I release the parking brake and I step on the service brake. I'm essentially opening these 2 valves. For the static, I'm checking for air leaks up to these 2 valves. For the applied, I'm checking for air leaks through the valves all the way to each brake pot. So the whole system right now has air in it.
Okay.
Even the spring chamber, which is compressed, the spring. So all the brake pots are compressed. My minute has gone by. I didn't lose any air. I'm going to reset that. I'm now going to do my low air warning devices, which must activate light and buzzer at all pressures above 60, no less than 60. So as I get close, I slow down. Make sure my key is on. So here's one. I have the other one's at 63. See if I can get the other one. A little bit of a beep there. So they activated at 60 psi. So they passed that. Resecure my vehicle. Start building my air up. This pretty much completes my vehicle inspection except for my performance test. Make sure everything is secure. I'm going to stow my chocks. Okay, Steve, if you will brace, I'll now do my performance test. As soon as I get it to 3 blocks up here, I'm pretty close to 100.
So you want to have at least 100 built up pressure.
Yeah, before you move it, because, you know, the door may not close. There's all kinds of things that run off air besides the brakes. So you want to make sure you have operating pressure. So you want to bring it up to a minimum of 100. Okay. So I'm going to let the bus roll forward. I'm going to hit the service brake nice and gentle. That's pretty good. Running out of space. Check my mirrors. I'm going to back up. As I'm backing up, giving myself some more room. I'm going to put on my parking brake. Okay, parking brake works. Now I'm going to use a little harder press on the service brake. Hang on, Steve. I bring it forward, and then I'm just going to stop the vehicle. I'm checking the mechanical parts, making sure everything's working and not broken, like return springs, other kinds of springs. Make sure it's not pulling when I hit the brake, steering the vehicle, or grabbing, going through the windshield. I'm secure and I'm complete. Now, he may ask you about the emergency stopping system. So he'll go, so how do you apply it? Driver's normal reaction in an emergency, applying the service brake. He may give you a scenario. You've lost your front tank of air. How do you apply the emergency stopping system, and which brakes will apply? I apply it the same way. I hit the service brake. But I'm going to have, since I have no front air, rear brakes only. Then he'll flip that around sometimes and say, okay, you've lost your rear tank of air. All you have is front air. How do you apply your emergency stopping system, and which brakes are going to apply? So I'm going to say driver's normal reaction. I'm going to step on the service brake. I'm going to have front service brakes, and I'm going to have a modulated application of the rear brakes, which is going to mean that the spring is actually applying the rear brakes.
A modulated application of the rear brakes.
Springs, yeah, because basically the air from the front is going to the back and bleeding just enough air off of the spring, which is held in place, just enough so that that spring will uncoil, and actually the spring, mechanical pressure, is putting the brakes on in the back. It's absence of air that makes this brake work. It's either all on, which it is right now, so it's not going to go anywhere because the springs don't have any air in the chamber. As soon as I release them, I'm not going to put it in gear, but as soon as I release them, the bus will move because the springs are compressed. When I step on the emergency stopping system, because I have no rear air, the brains of the system, the old system used to call it an SR1 valve. It's got all the lines from the parking, the front, and the rear into it. It's going to know, hey, you don't have any rear air. So it's going to take air from the tank that still exists, the front tank, put air on that rear spring so it takes the air out, and that spring's actually going to uncoil and put on the rear brakes. So you're going to have front service, and the rear parking or spring brake is going to slowly put the brakes on the back, so you have brakes at all four wheel positions. And it's mostly because if you just had front brakes, you're going to have all your weight on your steering axle. It becomes a control issue. You don't want that. You're not necessarily going to flip it over. The only other thing too that he might ask you to do is, what's the progression if you lose your brakes? If you're driving down the road and you're watching your air gauges, you're going to see that it didn't cut in when it normally cuts in. That's going to be odd. That should be something you notice. Then you're going to probably get down to, because it didn't cut back in, you'll get down to the low air warning, which should activate at 60, or any pressure above 60. It doesn't have to be at 60. If it gets to 59 when you're doing your cut in, it fails. You know, it's got to cut in before 85. If you're doing your low air warning and your low air warning activates below 60, it fails. It has to activate at 60 or above. So now when you're doing that, your low air will come on. That means you should have probably pulled over. You should have been watching your gauges. But again, if you keep driving and you ignore that, eventually there will be no air left in the system, and your rear springs will eventually slow your vehicle down and eventually stop you if you haven't burned your brakes up. So the bus will stop if you lose all your air, but that's kind of a catastrophic scenario, so you don't usually have to worry about that. But if you're watching your gauges, you should be able to pick up things before they happen. So that's the two tortures that he does. He usually gives you a scenario, how you apply your emergency stopping system, and then a tank failure, front or rear, because you have a dual air system. So it's redundancy. It's designed to stop the bus whether you have if you only have one tank, front or rear. That's all.
Thank you, Brian.
Oh no problem. Hi, Anna.